Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel. This is Stacy. So I am doing the follow-up video to the Stamp Wars number 6 that just happened this past weekend. And our sponsor for this Stamp Wars was Stampscapes, and Kevin from Stampscapes sent us the nature sheet set number 6. And I will be honest with you, this scared the crap out of me because I'm not the type of person that does scenes. I like scenes, I love looking at scenes, but I don't have the capability to like envision it before it's done so that I can try and work out what steps need to go where and so forth. Because as you'll see, the stamp set is actually, it's not like a scene that you just stamp down. Like there's other stamp sets that I have that are silhouette stamps, and they literally are just one full scene and you can just stamp them down on a background and they're wonderful. But this is intimidating, especially when it comes with instructions, and I'll show you that in a second. But if you guys aren't familiar with Stamp Wars, please check out some of my other videos, and I'll also link the Stamp Wars from this past weekend in the description below. It's going to be on Nancy Stamp's YouTube channel. She's the one that hosts this every time, and it was between Brian, Chow, myself, Tracy, and Nancy. And Ryan was actually the host this time, and he did a fantastic job. So let me show you this set though. So let's see. As I said, it comes with instructions, which this is actually really amazing. It gives you, just how to use it. And he's got some awesome videos as well. I would definitely ask that you check him out. He's on YouTube as Stampscapes, and I believe it's Stampscapes Stamps actually. And I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's a glossy brochure, basically, insert, and it has just examples. I'm a really great person. I call it R&D. Card people call it case, but rip off and duplicate is kind of what I call it, R&D. So I can look at something, and if I understand the concept behind it, which if you watch his videos, you will understand the concept behind it and how to create these beautiful landscapes. So again, though, I was freaking out as if you go watch, or if you did watch, I was freaking out. Very uncomfortable with this, but I have seen some of Kevin's videos, so I had a general idea, but I had never owned one of his stamp sets. So this is, like I said, the nature sheet set number 6, and it comes with these different elements, and it actually says at the top, because you can buy them individually or you can buy them as a set. And so this has the lakeside cabin, the ledge. So the lakeside cabin is this one, or I'll show them on this one instead. This shows like what their stamped out looks. So the lakeside cabin is this one. This is the ledge. So it's like rocks. You can do it a number of different ways. Pine. So that's going to be the individual pine right here. Then you have pine row, which would be this row of pine trees right here. And then I keep flipping upside down. Reeds, and so you've got the reeds right here. And then the last one is the water pattern, small, I believe. And that's this right here, which it looks beautiful. It looks like water. So I'll show you the card that I ended up making. I tried to mirror this. That's what I went off of, because I had nothing else to go off of. And I was like, all right, again, I can look at something and I can, case it basically. So the cards, we had to make 2 cards, one with a night scene, one with a day scene, and then we had to make a matching envelope for one of the cards. So the first scene I did was my night scene, and so this is my night scene. Move that out of the way. So this is my night scene, and I did a little bit of Wink of Stella glitter pen around the edge. Give it a little bling. But that was my night scene. And if you want to see how I made it, watch the video. And then this was my day scene, which this is actually much better. I like this one better. I did this one second. This one I used Accent 80-pound white cardstock, and it was okay, but this one is the Hamilco Glossy, and you can actually see a little bit of the gloss, the shine on it, and it was easier to stamp on. The ink soaked in really well. It's not always great for blending because the ink soaks it up so quickly, but I did truly like how this one came out. I used some greens, some grays, blacks. But yeah, you can go check out the video to see how I made this one too. And then the matching envelope for this one is that right there. Love this envelope. And then the matching envelope I did for my night scene was this one. And I just used some, I think it was, excuse my reach, my Spectrum More Sparkle. It was the blue topaz that I flicked on here and put. I like the sparkle. All right, so for today's video, I'm gonna do a follow-up and I'm gonna make another card. I did want to do something different than what we did in the video, you know, Stamp Wars, what the other creators have done, which everybody is going to do a follow-up video, and they also will be having a giveaway with each of their follow-up videos. So make sure you go and check out all their videos, and I will link their videos in the description below, so they're easy to go and find. But everybody will be having a giveaway, so they all have a question that or something you have to do in order to be entered into the giveaway. So be sure to check those out, and also be sure to go check out Stampscapes.com because his scenescapes are amazing. But what we're going to do today is something completely different, and I kind of got the idea from Kevin himself from Stampscapes because he's been stamping on foil card stock. So of course, being part of the Foiling Snobs Club, I wanted to do something with foil and thought that would be pretty cool. But I tried doing what he was doing, which he uses Brilliance pigment inks, and I don't have any of those, so I had to make it my own. So what I decided to do was use, let's see, I already put it away, because I'm not going to use it. I started with using Hero Hues Unicorn White and stamping it on the foil cardstock, but it wouldn't dry. Which is the hard thing with pigment inks, is that it doesn't dry, and this doesn't do well under a lot of heat, and I didn't have time for it to dry. So I thought, okay, let me throw some clear embossing powder over it and emboss it. And so that's what I ended up doing. So I had a few different colors. So I started with pink, and I did basically the same scene that I did for the card from Stamp Wars, which is, you know, the cabin in the middle, some trees in behind, and then the rocks, the rock shelf in the front. So I thought this was pretty cool, pretty neat, and it looks really good up against a black card base, or it even looks good up against a white card base, depending on what you're doing. And I think even without a sentiment on the outside, it could be used for pretty much almost anything. Mostly probably cheering someone up because this is pink. I also did blue. I really liked how this one came out. And if you'll see, while I was experimenting, the trees, the white, when I first stamped this, it was bright white. It was so pretty. And then when I embossed it, I was like, what the heck? Because everything's kind of got a blue tint to it. And I did stamp the unicorn white ink once, and I wasn't happy. Like, I stamped this first and it was crooked. And so if you take a little bit of like a damp paper towel, you can wipe it right off and start over. However, you also will wipe off, I noticed, I did it on a blue, and some of the blue came off onto the paper towel. The shine was still there. It was still, you know, mirror cardstock, so it still looked great. But what happened was I stamped all of these like at once and let them sit. And then I went back and I put the embossing powder over it and heat embossed it. So the white ink sat on the paper a little bit longer, because for like the pink one, it still has a pink tinge, but what I did for this one was I stamped this first, put the clear embossing powder on it, and then I heat embossed it. Stamped this, clear embossing powder, heat embossed it. Stamped this, clear embossed. So every one of them really didn't sit there that long, but this one and the next one, I'm going to show you the gold one, it sat there a little bit longer, and so it picked up the blue from the foil. But I love it. I still think it looks wonderful. And again, it looks great on the white background or the black, but this one I think I would put on the white background, but it's still pretty gorgeous. I like it. And then the other one is the gold one. This is probably my second. I don't know. I love them all. They all just have something different. Like this one looks so cool because again, it's hard to show right there. These trees are like more brown or more golden than the rest of them because the ink picked up more of the gold foil, the cardstock. So absolutely stunning. This one looks really good on black. Oh, see, looks good on white too. So pretty. And you kind of get that little rainbow from when you heat emboss it. It does that to the cardstock. All right, and then my last one, which is, I have to say, my favorite. This one turned out so amazing. It was my last, like I just wanted to try it on silver, but I couldn't use white pigment ink. So I was like, all right, well, let me use my VersaFine Clear and try it and do the same technique with stamping it, clear heat embossing it. And this one looks almost like debossed or embossed, not heat embossed, but like looks like it's pressed in, when in fact that's actually raised surfaces. This one is just amazing, and it's got like some black in here that pops out more than it does anywhere else. I just think this one's stunning. This one would make a great Christmas card. It almost looks like it's, you know, a snowy card. And this is like ice, just beautiful, pristine lake. So this is the one we're going to make. And I'm going to show you how to do it. It's so quick, so easy. It's great. All right. So let's get started. So we're going to do silver. And this is just some foil cardstock from Amazon, and I will put an Amazon link down below that you can use. It'll be Nancy's affiliate link because I do not have one, and so it doesn't cost you anything extra, and it helps for us to give back to the Foiling Snobs Club. So the 3 stamps I'm going to use the Pine Row, I'm going to use the shelf, rock shelf, and then I'm going to use the Lakeside Cabin. And I'm going to use my big stamp block for the Lakeside Cabin, although actually I can do this. Do this one first. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to heat emboss. So we are going to use an anti-static bag. So I'm going to get that on here. And this one looks like I possibly already wiped something off of it. That's the nice thing about using either the VersaFine Clear or the pigment or any pigment ink on this foil cardstock is literally, if you mess up, you can just take a damp cloth and wipe it off. So hopefully I won't mess up. And once you heat emboss it and you mess up, you know, like on the second stamping, you can still do the same thing because you heat embossed the first stamp. So it's not going to wipe that away. So I'm using my handy dandy Blue Night Rubber Stamps stamping handle. I've used this stamp pad so much I'm going to have to re-ink it. So as I said, this is the VersaFine Clear Nocturne. And the VersaFine Clear is different than the previous one. I can't remember. It's in a white container with this flip lid. This one dries faster. That is the biggest difference, and it's a huge difference. So just know. All right, I'm gonna try and get this on here straight. And if I don't get it straight, then we're just gonna erase it. Nah, that's pretty straight. That works for me. Okay, we're gonna heat emboss. Let me bring in my clear embossing powder. And you can use any clear embossing powder. I'm gonna flick that good. And I still, even though I used the pad, I still have a little bit, but the good thing is it's clear. So that's the one thing about using clear versus like a white embossing powder or a black embossing powder, is that if you over powder, if you get embossing powder where you don't want it, you don't really notice so much. All right, I'm gonna heat emboss this really quick, so bear with me. Okay, first one's done. And then if you didn't heat emboss it, you can always brush off the powder, but I did heat emboss it, but that's okay, because I'm gonna cover that up with another stamp. Okay, so I'm going to just set this aside. I'm not gonna clean it right this second. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'll do the tree line. And let me get, if I can get everything lined up, ready to go, I can probably do everything at once. So we can go ahead and do this again. And we're gonna do, actually, with the white pigment ink, I probably would have went ahead and did them all and then put the embossing powder, but because this is the VersaFine Clear, I'm not going to, because it may dry sooner than I want it to. Okay, let's do the full stamp, and we're going to do that off to the right over here. Perfect. It's a little, you can see that it's got a little bit of a ridge right here. And that's simply because there's existing embossing that happened, which I'm okay with. It adds character. I'm going to put some clear embossing on there. Now, I could go ahead and stamp, but I'm going to go ahead and emboss that because I don't want to touch it, bump it accidentally. So here we go again. Okay, and so as you can see, because I double stamped over this, it's stamped over the existing embossing, so it's a little bit darker than the rest of it, which again, I don't mind. I don't mind at all. Okay, now we're going to do the trees over here like we did, so up on the, like a mountain behind kind of thing. So with this, I'm going to go ahead and ink up the top of the stamp, and then I'm going to get a rag. I'm going to take off a little bit, so like this edge. We'll see how that works. Oop, almost. Did I get it? I did. Ooh, but I wiped right off. Okay. Okay, that works for me. That's one thing I love about this. You don't have to be perfect with it. Okay. Good deal. I definitely have a lot more like over spray, so to speak, than I did on my other one. I had like hardly nothing up here, but it's okay. All right, well, we'll add some embossing bag down there. Okay, so the last part is going to be, I'm going to stamp this down twice. So let's get that inked up really good. And I just want it along the bottom edge. And then we're going to use overlap a tiny bit and get the rest of it. Perfect. And the last part. And that's it. It looks like it's etched. You know how you get that stuff that like eats into glass? It's not, it's all raised because it's embossed. But it's crazy how it looks like it's etched in. But isn't that gorgeous? I think that's just awesome. And then you can simply cut it down to 4¼ no, that'll be 4 by 5¼ and then just mount it on a card base. I think that's turned out awesome. So I do want to thank, again, I want to thank Kevin from Stampscapes for sponsoring our Stamp Wars number 6. I am not afraid of these anymore. I'm really not. I actually, you know, having it in pieces like this, like I said, really intimidated me. I am not intimidated as much anymore. I mean, he's an excellent teacher, for one. If you watch his videos, he does a great job in showing you how to use them. And I love them. I mean, they're so versatile. I do have to learn and, you know, get out of my comfort zone, but I'm loving this scene right now. So I'm absolutely in love with them. I would love some more. So, hey, Kevin, you want to send me some? I'm up for that. But do check him out. He's got a lot of different sets. Obviously, he's got 5 more at least. So check that out, and then also go check out all the other participants, which I've linked below, and they will be having giveaways. So just follow their instructions on what their rules are for their giveaways. And then my giveaway is going to be for US residents only, 18 and older, of course. Sorry, but I just want you to tell me what you think of when you see a scene like this. Like, does it give you anxiety because you're out in the middle of the wilderness away from electronics and people? Or is it serene? Would you love to just get up and go and fish in this little lake or whatever? I personally would love to get up and just fish and sit out, you know, drink my coffee on the porch and just listen to the sounds that I can imagine would be happening in a scene like this. So just leave a comment below, and we will be doing the drawing probably during our next Stamp Wars, which we will be having another Stamp Wars this coming weekend. So that would be on December 19th. We're going to be doing Stamp Wars number 7. Wow. So I hope you enjoyed this. Definitely give it a thumbs up if you did. Please subscribe if you're not already, and hit the bell to be notified when I post another video. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Bye-bye.